He's already done.
He's done 3 episodes of it already?
Yeah. I guess I shouldn't give it away.
Have they?
It came down him into a Chinese midget, and the midget blew him away with some really harsh anti-white jokes.
I hear Howard Stern's leaving America's Got Talent.
Is that right?
That's what someone just told me a couple nights ago.
I didn't know that. I don't follow that. That show's fucking horrendous.
I heard they're actually
horrendous. Oh, yeah, you were on it.
I was on how they fuck a performer that they're fucking Howard Stern as the host. They're barely like showing his comments anymore because they know they're getting rid of him. They're like weaning the world off of.
He's the reason that they moved it to New York.
I know.
Why is he leaving?
I think he's probably just done with it. Probably figured this is a pain in the ass.
I mean, it's like the Gong Show that takes itself serious. It's not even as good as the Gong Show.
No, the Gong Show is great. I love the Gong Show.
It was the best, wasn't it?
Yes.
And that's sort of this version of it, but it's not funny. It takes itself serious. So seriously that when Joe was on it, they edited his set to make him look like he was bombing when he had a good set.
I didn't have a good set, but they had no audience.
You didn't have a good... Well, there was no live audience.
There was no live audience.
That's kind of important with stand-up, I found, over 28 years.
Yeah. You can't really do it in an empty room.
You should have told him to stick in Brian Williams' ace.
It's funny what you realize you should have done.
You were thinking about suing. That's what I love about you.
I thought about everything. Like
suicide?
I just had another situation. I actually wrote down things that I wanted to ask you about on this podcast.
Okay.
Because this is we're doing a group podcast. It'll be a Fixing Joe. It'll be a Nick DiPaolo podcast.
Sure.
If the Riotcast people don't mind.
Yeah, that's right. We kind of piggybacked on here.
Do they mind?
I didn't know. I didn't clear it with them. I didn't think of it like that, but...
Well, it's fine.
It's fine, Joe says. Oh, Rob Sprance don't mind. He's a cool cat.
And I'm not, yeah.
We don't do this all the time.
And I know him a little bit.
What Joe's saying is usually he'll do mine, then I'll go to his house and do his, and they're posted separately. But here we're just killing 2 birds with 1 stone.
Well, we'd end up talking about the same things twice.
No, we don't. We mix it up.
A little bit, but there would be a lot of the things that I wanted to talk about on my podcast. And if I came to your house the 2 days before I did mine, because I usually do mine on Wednesdays, I would end up saying that. Love your low Tony Soprano.
It smashed his fucking face.
It was on -2.
Yeah, no, nobody heard that.
So I wanted to talk to you about this at the top because I did another stupid thing that reminds me of me performing with no audience.
Before you do that, let me thank the people at Ridgefield, Connecticut, for coming out last Saturday night.
How'd it go?
It was great. 350, 375.
Nice.
Beautiful. People on the balcony, bottom was full. And they said it was the largest crowd of the summer because in the fucking dead of summer, everybody's, wherever they're at. But, beautiful turnout. Did an hour plus, went by like it was 6 minutes. Just, it's theater. Like we talked about, there's no fat waitresses being loud and, who wanted the margarita? Shut up. I'm trying to tell a joke, you fuckhead. It was beautiful. People sitting there hanging on every word.
Yeah, they're sophisticated people, nice people up there.
Not a chicken finger or a buffalo wing in the place. Just the way it's supposed to be. Eyes on me, motherfucker. And Kendra Cunningham did a great job. She's funny as hell.
No intermission either, right? Just boom, boom?
Intermission? What am I doing, Les Mis? Of course there's no intermission.
Sometimes they want an intermission just so they can make more money in the middle.
I call the shots. Like, it's my show. You had the key. You gave me the keys to open the door to this dump. That's all. Get out of my way now. Fucking intermission. I know. You're right, though. I've done shows where... Really? You want an intermittent? Really? Yeah, let's drag it out some more. People have the attention span of Cocker Spaniels on crack, but let's stretch it out some more. It was awesome. It was so the way it's supposed to be. That and then the next day I had to get on a plane to L.A., and we'll talk about that. But I enjoyed it's my favorite gig, Ridgefield.
I know. Well, you did 900 radio shows promoting it.
I did,
but it
worked.
Actually
paid off, I guess.
It worked.
I actually did one in Westchester with some guy like 5 minutes from here. A station I didn't even know existed. I don't think it's a very large signal. I mean, he could stand on the roof of the building, and I could hear his
Chaz
broadcast.
And AJ?
No, that's an hour from here.
You did that one, right?
Yeah, but that's the big one.
I'm doing that one this Friday for the first time.
Are you really?
To promote a gig in New Haven that I'm doing this weekend.
They're great. They're great guys, both of them.
You got to sit in for the whole show. You're there for 3 hours.
Yeah, you are. They really get your money's worth out of you. And they play music, so you get to say 3 words every 12 minutes. Chaz, it's fun watching this guy work the board. This guy's been doing radio forever.
Well, those guys that are real pros at that with comedians, that they know how to get the strong out. They wait for you. They're just waiting for you to say something really funny, and it's like, bam! They go right to the commercial.
Yeah, but he's got so much going on. It almost makes me look like, because I love radio, I love to do it, but I'm like, I wouldn't want to do that. Every minute of every hour is blocked with some. You know what I mean? He's got, as soon as he gets done chatting with me, okay, we have a news report. Whatever, they talk to some, the mayor of Milford has a story or whatever, and then they go right to traffic, and then they go to a couple commercials, come back, play 2 songs, and then they play some contest that they do every week. You know what I mean? Every minute is filled with, and I'm like, how the fuck?
But you always say you wouldn't want to do something like that.
Well, that's a little too commercial for me. Yeah, I want to blab for an hour without a break. You know what I mean? But there's no money in that.
I was going to say, what radio is that?
Well, that's called satellite radio, Joe.
You think?
What do you mean you think? Have you ever done fucking Opie and Jimmy or O&A?
Well, they have a longer they do go to commercial, though.
Yeah, but you talk for an hour before they have a break.
Right.
That's it.
But there's no money on satellite radio unless you're
no, exactly.
That's rare.
Well, exactly. That's why I'm still selling weed to school children up in Yorkville.
But I'm saying, you wouldn't try to make some sort of adjustment to what you do if you had a terrestrial radio job that paid a lot of money and it was in New York? You wouldn't adjust it if you had to play a little bit of music and talk.
There's no such thing, Joe. There's no such thing.
There's no such thing as that?
No. But no, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to be like a morning zoo guy. No.
But they do have opinions and they talk.
For like 2 seconds. That's not what I want to be able to be uncensored too.
Okay.
You can't say anything. It's a family show. I make like a slightly off-color remark, and I see Chaz and AJ's face go white.
What do? They
hit
drop
the dump button.
They just dump.
The guy's got his thumb on the dump button the minute I walk in.
Yeah.
But he's, like I said, it's fun watching him. It's like watching a symphony guy leading an orchestra.
Right.
He just there's a million buttons. He's working the board and shit.
Howard Stern's he does the same thing. He runs his own board.
He does?
Yeah, he runs that whole thing. If you watch him.
What are you talking about? What's Fred Norris doing?
He does all the sound effects, but Howard has all the things and the levels and everything.
I know. He should. He's only getting $1 billion. He should be fucking cleaning the toilets and the grout work. But anyways, yeah, you'll enjoy that. That's a great show. It's a fun show to do.
Hopefully it'll sell some tickets because
what are you pushing? What show?
I got a last minute call. I've had some of the weirdest luck this summer with a lot of different things.
I know. I can tell by your outfit. Go ahead.
So I'm doing this. What's it called? The gig, Joker's Wild in
New Haven.
In New Haven,
it can't be the same room that I did.
Oh, it is.
In 1991,
it probably
can't
is. It's right across the street from Frank Pepe's, where all the pizza. It's that little Italy where there's 2 world famous pizza places.
I guess I don't really remember.
There's Sally's and Frank Pepe's, and it's this Worcester Street that's like this little Italy. And
I told you the first time I did it, the guy, guy goes, "Hey, you were late." He hands me the envelope because it's 50 late because you were late.
No, I don't remember this.
He doesn't own it anymore.
That's hysterical.
He was a little connected guy.
Well, yeah.
And his mother was like, I told you, but they loved me, so they had me back many times. Yeah. I go in the men's room. The mother is snorting coke with a state trooper.
No way. I never met the mom.
She's like a 70-year-old Greek/Sicilian woman.
Oh my God.
She's probably gone now.
He had a gorgeous, really Italian wife.
I think so.
Yeah, very gorgeous. So. They have new bookers now. So this is classic. I get this call. It's like 2 weeks out before the gig, and they go, "We got to cancel your gig." Just cancel. I go, "What do you mean canceling it?"
Why?
They go, "New bookers." I go, "Well, it's 2 weeks out. You can't do that. Just give me the date." They're doing local door guys now. It's like a bringer club. That's what he tells me. And I go,
"Oh, boy."
I go, "Well, let's keep." I go, "I'm not going to be able to get anything. Keep the date and just let's make it a door deal. I'll get no flat. I have no flat money. It's just whatever I make at the door is what I make." So this young kid called me who's running it, and he's real hungry. He sounds hilarious on the phone. His name's like Vinny something. Vinny Beetle or something.
Oh, so it hasn't changed.
He goes, "Joe, it's Vinny Beetle. I'm running the place now. I'm going to be doing all kind of things. I'm going to fill it. You'll be good. You'll probably make more than what your flat fee was." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, let's see." So I got to cancel my opener. I go, "Dude, I'm not paying you out of my money, so you're gone." I had to get rid of that. I said, book some local guys that can bring some people.
So did it hurt Florentine's feelings when you canceled them?
You missed it. You missed it.
I didn't miss anything.
So I had that happen. So I got that happening this week. So this could be. I'm on ADD meds right now.
Apparently you didn't fucking up the dosage. You're all over the place.
Am I? I could be. It makes you feel a little weird.
You're like my agent.
This is day 2 of it. I'm not used to it.
No, you're all right.
But we did tease something at the beginning of the podcast that we didn't get to. So
what?
I brought up that I had this I did something stupid like I did on America's Got Talent, which is perform for no audience. I did something in Philly to try to get myself a Philly sports talk radio job. This was classic. I'm talking to this guy, Joe Conklin, who's a friend of mine, who's this local Philly radio, like, celeb. He does all Philly sports impressions, and he's always on WIP, which is, like, the big Philly sports station
WIP.
down there.
I'm familiar with it.
So Conklin and I are talking on the phone about maybe doing some local gigs, because he's pretty big down there.
Yeah.
And he goes, dude, I just thought of it. You should try to get the job. The midday guy here's Tony. You probably know this guy, Tony.
Been around forever.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask you.
You and Artie took his job.
I was just going to, well, he was leaving anyway, but I was going to ask you what his last name was.
You don't know it
He's
either.
a real miserable, they say.
Yeah, Tony Bruno.
Yeah. Tony Bruno.
So Tony Bruno was doing middays for a short time with this guy, Josh Innes, at WIP in Philly.
Too much information. Go ahead.
So
boring the shit out of me right now.
So Tony retired, and he needs a new midday co-host with him. So Conklin goes, well, they're kind of running this contest.
Who needs a midday co-host? Conklin?
No, Innes, this guy, Josh.
Innes.
He does the afternoons.
All right.
So he goes, they're doing this contest where they want callers to call in, and they'll give you a couple of subjects, and then they let you riff, and then they give it to another caller and let him riff, and then they pick who was the winner of the two. And he goes, I'll put a good word in for you because I know everybody there, but you have to do this. And I said to my wife after I did it, because it went horrific.
Oh, wait, do I have this right? You're competing against callers for a job?
Yeah. It's ridiculous. All right.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid? Why aren't more people intelligent?
What the fuck?
So
you are a peach.
He goes, I'll put in a good word for you to try to get you like an audition or maybe a month trial or whatever it is. You'll get paid. He's saying you'll get paid a radio scale, and but you got to go through the ringer like everybody else and do this little contest. I go, dude, I know I won't be good at that. I go, one, I'm not from Philly. I don't live in Philly anymore. I don't know enough about sports, especially Philly sports.
I know, but you could have put a funny spin on it.
I should have. I blew it.
First of all, you do your voice.
I should have done Stallone because they were doing it like it was
but who's the broadcaster you always did? The sports?
Harry Callis.
Yeah, Harry.
I should have done all my...
He's a Philly guy, right?
Yeah. Well, that's where I blew it because the guy were announcing it as a 1 in a million shot. Like they were calling it the Rocky of radio. Like we're going to give some unknown
a shot.
So...
And you're the role of Apollo Creed.
I'm on hold for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I call in. This is before the ADD meds. Maybe it would have helped me if I was on Adderall then. The first subject was this guy coming up for the Phillies who's been in their farm system for a while, and they were going to have him pitch that night. And he wanted to know how many people he thought the stadium would draw with this new guy, because the Phillies are in last place.
Yeah.
Of course, I never fucking even heard of the guy. By the time I don't have time to go Google it, I'm live.
I know.
So I'm like, I'm trying to make it up like I know he is.
Well, that's what I said. I was
should have done voices.
No, it would have been really funny if you just started making shit up.
That made no sense.
No sense. Or
that's what I did.
Or you could have started. You could start referencing fucking Phillies plays that you knew in the 70s and 80s, and just been really slick about it. And they're like, this guy really has the chops, but he's fucking doesn't know anything. You're supposed to follow the Phillies. Well, they swept the Cubs this weekend, by the way. Even I knew that.
Well, Cole
Hamels threw a no-hitter.
Yeah. I didn't find out till today. That's how clueless I am. So then the second question was about Donald Trump. And this is something that came up in my therapy, that I go to the dumb guy a lot instead of trying to be...
Right.
I just took this 5-hour neuropsych test, and the doctor said at the end of it, you go to stupid too easily. You know some of this shit, and you just default to be the dumb guy.
Yeah, I think that's That's an accurate diagnosis.
Yeah, I thought it was, too, because my immediate answer about Donald Trump, I go, I'm an Italian from Jersey. What do I know about politics? And then the other guy
like
knew
Italians from Jersey don't know politics?
It was yeah.
They're fucking labor. They're all the crooked fucking union guys.
Yeah, that's all they do is read the paper.
Exactly.
Trump
has relationships with every fucking union guy in Philly, crooked Italian. You could have went right into.
But after I did, it went so poorly that afterwards I said to my wife, I go, I should have thought, what would Nick do? And I can hear your voice in my head going, just put the good word in, and I'll go and tell him that I would like to do the job, and we'll work out the salary. Like, there's no way you would call in. I'm like, he would not be a caller.
Yeah, but you know what? Look how it's worked for me. It's not
but
bad
you've
to
had
do
a radio job.
I did. I've had a couple.
You've had a couple.
And by the way, if there's people out there that think I'm failing at radio, I'm not. The Free FM thing went bankrupt. That had nothing to do with me.
Right.
It went bankrupt.
Right.
So the whole station changed formats. That had nothing to do with me.
Right.
And then Nick and Artie was just a different, artistic difference between me and the guys that ran DirecTV.
Right.
I wanted to do a different show.
Right.
So that's why I still love it. And we're going to talk about my trip, but I went out to L.A. last
I want to hear all about it. But I wanted to get that off my chest. That was just, I had nothing on this
You
picture.
should have just started naming Phillies from the 70s. I can't even, you know them though, right? You were Phillies and growing
Bake McBride.
That's what you should. Never mind this new kid they're trying to bring up. Bake McBride should be fucking. He's the one who could provide offense for this team.
Yeah, we need Del Unser.
Del Unser, for Christ's sake.
You know who that is?
Yeah, he's a race car driver.
No, he was a Philly.
Del Unser?
Yeah, he was on the.
There was also a race car driver named Del Unser, wasn't there?
I know the 80 Phillies because they won the World Series.
You should have just started bringing up fucking Flyers names. Moose DuPont. Fuck this kid they're trying to bring up. Moose DuPont and Reggie Leach.
I didn't have time to come up with an angle. He threw it at me, then boom. I didn't have a time to think about it.
That's funny. It's fucking making you jump through hoops.
My brother goes, "What are you doing trying to get a sports talk radio job? You don't know sports." I go, "Well, couldn't that be funny? That I know a little and I'm trying to learn."
Yeah.
Why do you have to? Do you ever notice that they all sound the same too? Like that was something I said on my podcast last week. If you listen to New York sports talk, a lot of them all sound like Chris Russo, and in Philly they all sound like Angelo Cataldi. Give
us a little Harry Kalas.
Harry Kalas?
Yeah, he was the voice of
the late great.
The voice of the Phillies.
Yeah, he was the voice of the Phillies,
and he did NFL football,
NFL films. People don't really know that. They don't realize that John Facenda crossed over and became Harry Kalas Super Bowl 14. I don't know who played in Super Bowl 14. You have any idea?
No, it doesn't matter, Joe.
The Dallas Cowboys are led by none other than the great Roger Staubach, who likes to throw long to Drew Pearson. Drew Pearson, number 88, could drag his feet like no other wide receiver in Dallas Cowboys history.
Give it a little music.
You got the NFL film. You're watching Monday Night Football on CBS. I'm Harry Kalas. Tonight we got the Philadelphia Eagles going up against the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta wide receiver, we know him as Alfred Jenkins. Alfred Jenkins went to Abilene Christian. And, of course, the Philadelphia Eagles, number 7, Ron Jaworski, who likes to throw deep to Harold Carmichael in the end zone.
That's enough of that.
Just all people nobody remembers. Harold Carmichael was such a...
It's somebody they remember.
What the hell's going on out here?
With his camel hair suit on the sidelines. That could be my old man.
So let's see. I want to hear about the podcast. You did like every podcast there was.
But before we get to that, you were mentioning the sportscasters and Colin Cowherd. He's a ESPN guy. He's like the best. He's simulcast like me and Artie. He's on TV and he's really good on the mic. And,
right.
But he got in trouble this past weekend they were talking about how, I'm just paraphrasing, but they were talking about how sports. Somebody said that baseball's a really heady game and the managers really affect what goes on, and he disagreed with it. He said, I think football's more heady as far as managers. He goes, come on, baseball's half Dominican, which is kind of an insult. I heard it.
Meaning
I go
that it's not heady.
Like Dominicans aren't smart.
Right.
And I'm going, he couldn't have meant it that way. He must have meant. I was trying to, like, in my head, rationalize for him. He must have meant, like, a lot of, Dominicans that come over are, they're young kids who aren't highly educated, but they're great baseball. I don't know what he meant, but you can't, in today's climate, you can't fucking say that.
Yeah, I don't know what he meant.
So ESPN, well, what he was saying is, his argument, and again, he used Dominican, which was, a slight towards Dominicans.
Right.
But he was saying that baseball managers don't have as much effect.
Yeah.
He said, look, he goes, we have a better chance, a sports writer, arguing off camera with a manager, as opposed to a guy writing a play for Bill Belichick. That would never happen.
Now that you're saying that, it makes it almost sound like they're all Dominican. They're so good that they don't need any instruction. Is that what he meant?
No.
It sounds like that a little bit.
He was just saying it. And again, I don't think he was trying to slight Dominican people as a whole, but maybe just the young ball players that come over that are young and not, aren't highly educated. I don't know, but it just.
I don't think he.
So ESPN came out. Well, ESPN came out and canned them.
Really?
Well, but here's the ESPN thing. He was leaving anyways. He was going to Fox Sports 1. So ESPN, because they're so politically, I can't even watch them anymore. I can't even watch Around the Fucking Horn anymore. It's so politically correct. They just pure political correctness comes out. You have to watch it to understand it. I can't even watch Bomani Jones and Professor Blackistone, all these black pundits, sports pundits who are just so they see racism in everything, and it's just so fucking tiring, and it's hard to watch, you know. And
so is it going to affect his next job because they fired him?
I don't know. I guess that's to be seen. But
I bet it will.
I think he's still getting the job. I mean, he came out and apologized, which is all white guys do today. Every time you turn around, whether it's politics or sports, we're being bullied verbally. You just fucking there's like 6 words white people can say. But that one was like, even I was like, how the hell? What did he mean by that?
I still think that he was saying that in baseball, it's not as affected. It's the players is what I'm thinking he was trying to say. That it's not as heady. You don't have to do as much, but a football coach has to really do a lot of heady thinking to set.
Yeah, but why did he use Dominican?
Well, because he's saying they're all Dominican. Maybe he's saying that the coaches don't speak Dominican. These guys are just going out there and doing what they do. Like the coach doesn't speak Dominican. How the fuck does he tell him?
He didn't say that in his apology. Maybe
he should have. Well, that's a great answer. I'm going to call him up.
All of a sudden, Joe is. Yeah, why don't you give him a call? You don't get that gig in Philly.
Well, I used to have a joke that I tried like 2 times about my son's Little League team sucking because we didn't have any Dominicans on our team.
Right.
That you can't have Trevor turn the double play over to like Zach. You know, you got to have Manny throwing it to, Raul over to Carlo.
If I was Colin Howard, I would have said, really? You ever hear fucking Manny Ramirez speak? Or, I would have brought up 8 different players who are fucking lopey. But that's the thing. Well, Whitey has to just lay down and take it. And ESPN acts all high and mighty. We don't tolerate that type of shit. Meanwhile, they have fucking rappers singing about, fucking shooting up the place. And they get Ray Lewis, guy, who's almost indicted on a murder charge.
That's a huge, that's a great point.
Such fucking, if you follow sports, everybody knows they're full of shit.
I can't watch Ray Lewis.
ESPN is run by Disney, which is the most politically correct fucking corporation in the history. Nothing's more politically correct than pro sports.
So what is their defense and why they have a guy who was like up for a fucking murder? Ray Lewis,
like Ray Lewis and
having
shit.
A job
he wasn't
there.
charged. That's their defense.
But I mean,
they don't have to defend. They're so big, Disney. But when a white guy like Colin Cowherd says something like that, boy, they can puff their chests out. Same way like fucking Roger Goodell is doing with Tom Brady. Let's give Ray Rice 2 games originally for knocking his wife out. But, oh, my God, under deflated football. That's 4 games and a fucking $1 million fine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Did he get it reduced or that's still pending?
That's still pending, I think. There was some information on it this week. But speaking of, like, white apologies, let's listen to... Let's listen to Martin O'Malley. He was the governor of Maryland and ran the state into the ground. He makes Obama look conservative. Just a mealy-mouthed white lib. Everything I hate about the fucking world.
Dude, I'm an Italian. I don't really know anything about politics.
Yeah, well, tough. My listeners, just because you're here, I'm not going to abandon my
I'm kidding, asshole.
Hey, take it easy, will you, ADD? Jesus, Joe's all fired up today.
I thought you would get the joke.
What was the joke? I'm sorry.
Because I said earlier that I always go to the dumb. Oh, I'm an Italian. What do I know?
Yeah, you don't do that. Because you're not dumb. You came in here with your equipment.
I was making a joke.
It sucked. I know a joke. I do it for a living. I'm not calling Philly sports shows and competing against against fans.
We got Nick DiPaolo on the line. He wants to try to get the job.
See, you got to focus, Joe. Let's listen. This is Martin O'Malley in front of like a black crowd. And he made the mistake of saying that all lives matter. This is beautiful because liberals are attacking liberals now. It's so fucking fun if you follow politics. But this is the initial. He says all lives matter, and he says black lives matter. And when he says white lives, listen to the crowd, which is predominantly black.
Every life matters, and that is why this issue is so important. Black lives matter. White lives matter. All lives matter.
Who's the racist now?
Wow.
Black lives matter. White lives
Look at him.
matter.
He was stunned.
All lives matter.
Listen to him like a robot. Just a sniveling little white backpedaling. You think black people respect a guy like that? This guy wants to, maybe jump in and run for president.
Where was that?
I don't know. Doesn't
Down
matter.
south somewhere?
No. Doesn't matter, though. The audience was black. Can you imagine you say all lives matter and black people get pissed? And then when you say white lives, they fucking boo? Who's racist now? Who's racist now?
That's so funny. I was just talking about that this weekend. There used to be a club called the Laugh House in Philly. You would get heckled it was an all-black audience, and you would get heckled in the middle of killing, and you didn't even know what to say. Like, it was going well. You're getting applause breaks. All of a sudden, some black dude would stand up and be like, "Your shit's corny, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Get off stage." You're like, I don't even know how to handle that when it's going well. It's like...
Why would you go to play an all-black club? They hate your guts, Joe. They hate you. Even the ones pretending like they hate you fucking
They hate me, right?
No, look, I mean, not you personally. All of us. They hate Whitey. That's the big secret.
As a comedian, they really have trouble going that way.
Now, here's O'Malley. Here's him apologizing on a black radio show like a few days later. Listen to this sniveling, backpedaling little puss.
I meant no disrespect. That was a mistake on my part, and I meant no disrespect. And I did not mean to be insensitive in any way or to communicate that I did not understand the tremendous passion, commitment, and
listen to this fucking idiot.
Feeling and depth of feeling that all of us should be attaching to this issue.
Jeez.
Do you really think anybody respects that? That type of sniveling, backpedaling apologist. You think even black people would respect that?
Yeah, did he say something else that's not on the clip
no,
that he's apologizing for?
Well, you'd think so, right?
Yeah, maybe at the clip end he was like yelling the N-word or something.
And you blew it! You blew it!
He's apologizing for complimenting them. Black people matter, white people matter. Boo!
White lives don't matter. That's why I give black people credit. They're being honest.
Wow.
But how about him backpedaling? It is so... What the people on the left, the Dems, what they'll do to get votes is just... It's fucking hilarious.
So it's just like you saying, like, if having a radio show in the wrong market could just be so miserable. Like, that comes with that job. You have to just lie and pretend.
You don't, though. Trump's not...
Yeah. Do you think Trump's going to win, though?
I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter if he's going to win or not. But you know what? He's already staying in longer than people. They don't know what to do with him. It's fun. It is fun to watch. He's a breath of fresh air. No, he's not going to. If I'm like the Republican candidates, and he's going to be in the first debate, all you have to do is get real inside baseball with him, start talking politics, because he doesn't. Again, I don't see... Trump doesn't come across that bright to me. He knows how to tap into, populist anger and stuff. But if they start asking him about what would you do in Syria and get into real inside baseball shit, he's not going to know what to do. I
would love to hear what
I think that's what's going to happen in the debate. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he gets up there and just keeps fucking lambasting people. Political correctness is the cancer. It's what's dividing us. Yeah. That's why I was never impressed with his intelligence. I always say to my wife when I see Trump, I go, how can he be rich? He always says stuff like, I'm leading in the polls in New Hampshire, and I got the most standing ovations. That's something like he actually says that. It's something like an open micer would say. But I don't give a shit. The fact that he's going, fuck you, I'm saying it because you're thinking it and you're welcome, Then you got this Martin O'Malley, this sniveling little, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say. Oh, it makes me sick to my stomach. Every time you turn around. Who else? They're all attacking each other. Right here in New York City, local politics, the head of the city council, this Veravito woman, Mark Veravito, whatever her last name is attacking her own boss, de Blasio, saying, you're only doing that because I'm a woman. So the libs are actually just starting to eat each other. It's fun. It's fun to watch. But can you imagine? I didn't mean it. Well, he's saying it. He has his hand over his heart. O'Malley. He's just. It was a black woman radio. She was the radio host, and he was, doing everything but crying.
Oh, he went on a black.
It was a black radio show.
Show to apologize.
Yeah, of course. You think anybody respects that? Latino, white, black, Chinese?
No.
That type of sniveling.
Some of my best sets when it would be an all-black crowd, and why I used to do them a long time ago.
You went off?
I would go right at them sometimes.
That's what they want.
And it would really work. But there's always that one guy, though. There's one guy that just goes, I ain't listening to a white guy. I remember just laying in him. I go, can I just ask a question before I start? Why do you guys wear fucking three-piece suits to the beach? Like, I just started, asking him serious questions.
Three-piece suits to the beach?
Yeah, when I used to go to Wildwood, New Jersey, these black people would come from...
Excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead. You can talk over the...
Black people would come from Camden, New Jersey, because they would take the bus down to Wildwood, and they'd set up a fucking barbecue grill right on the beach, which I didn't even know you were allowed to do, but they just did it. Right. They'd have those hibachis going, and they'd be wearing suits, and they just fucking they would take their shirts, their shoes off. That was it.
I never saw that.
I saw black people in suits.
Where was that?
Baggy suits.
Where?
Wildwood, New Jersey. I still remember it. I worked on the beach when I was 17. It was hilarious.
They just came from work? They didn't dress up to go to the beach.
I think they might have. I don't know.
Oh, did they take off the suits and they had like a Speedo on underneath?
Not really. They were just,
in their boxes?
Barbecuing.
They didn't go into the water?
No, I didn't see them do that.
Honey, going on the beach.
It's the most racist.
You need sunblock?
podcast.
No, I'm going to put on my three-piece suit, my top hat. Holy shit! I never even heard that.
Yeah, well,
which reminds me, oh shit! I wanted to plug Colin's book. I don't even know the title of it.
Tough to plug when you don't know the title. Is it on his his new one-man show?
It's based on that. Yeah, hold on.
What the New York Stories is
the name of the one-man show. I don't think that's the name of the book though.
No?
I'm going to run upstairs and grab it. You talk to these people for a second.
You don't want to hit pause? I hit pause when I do my podcast. Yeah. You don't know how to hit pause?
There's not a pause button here.
It's called the space bar.
No, that's not how it works.
No?
No. It's a different program, dude. What are you fucking talking about? I'm going to hit play. That should pause it, right? See all this? Can't edit this shit out. Hold on. All right. The book. It's called The Coloring Book. A Comedian Solves Race Relations in America. It's our old buddy Colin Quinn. And nobody knows this subject like Quinn. Because he grew up in Brooklyn in the 70s and, in the most diverse neighborhood in the world. And he's, how he is. You saw him on Tough Crowd and the stuff he did.
No,
he's
I'm sure he has great points.
But it's the funniest goddamn book. Because when he talks about the Irish, he starts telling stories about when he was a drunk, getting beat up and beating people up and thrown out of stuff you'd never know in Colin Quinn now. You're like, are you sure?
Is this his first book?
I think so.
It's amazing that that's his first book.
But it's not amazing because he'd rather do one-man shows, which is like doing hard. It's almost as hard as doing a book.
But they could all be books, every one of his one-man shows. So that's probably great.
I was reading this on a plane on the way back from L.A., and I was fucking belly laughing.
Really?
Oh, my God. It is so friggin' funny. Especially, like I said, when he gets into what a crazy drunk he was. But he knows the ethnic breakdown of the city. Even now he talks about, he goes, I can tell by like looking at a subway train going through Queens. He goes, I know that the Ecuadorians are going to get off on 115th Street. The Mexicans are going to get off in Corral. He knows like the breakdown shit that you wouldn't. Yeah, I mean, and he talks about the Italians, in Brooklyn, how crazy they were. That even like black people didn't want to go into Bensonhurst and the Italians were nuts, and like his next door neighbor was Italian, and the kid would be washing the car, and the father would be sitting on the stoop going, "Hey, you fucking idiot, you're doing it wrong," and just brutal.
Well, I think of the Bronx. Was it A Bronx Tale or The Bronx Tale?
A Bronx Tale.
A Bronx Tale, and that scene where the blacks and the whites just fucking fighting for no reason in Brooklyn.
Well, yeah.
Or
the
that was
Italians
the
were
Bronx.
crazy.
Was the Bronx?
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
But you go out and get it. I'm going to the play. I was coming home from L.A. when it premiered. I would have went to the premiere, but I'm going Sunday night. I'm looking at trying to get tickets all week, and there's like no seats left.
My wife and I should have went with you and your wife to that.
I don't. You know,
went to that.
Honest to God, Joe, I think there were like three or four seats left. I swear to God.
The New York Story.
The New York Story. Yeah.
Where is it playing?
The Cherry Lane Theater. Nice plug for Quiddy.
Nice.
But go get the book if you want to laugh your ass off. And he got a good review on the one-man show in the Post. So, but I was on a plane trying not to laugh. He's talking about he's drunk one night. He's all fucked up in a bar, that he used to work in or something. The minute he came in, they wanted to get rid of him. He's drunk, and he puts on. He'd always put on the Stone song, "I'll never be a beast of burden." But instead of saying that, he said, "I'll never be a pizza server." He kept changing the word, and then hitting the jukebox so it would skip to that part. He kept saying it over. I mean, I know you and I know Quinn the way he is now,
right? And
you'd never expect, but he was like, he's one of those guys when he got alcohol in him, he turned into a demon.
Oh yeah,
he'd get beat up everywhere and take on people and So I recommend it highly. Fucking really goddamn.
Now that I'm on ADD meds, I'll get it. I'll be able to read a book.
Hell yeah! No, it's an easy read. It's because it's funny. You're ripping through it.
You're done? You read the whole thing?
Yeah. Yeah, I read it like the whole thing on the way home from L.A.
Don't lend book. I lent the book to Florentine once and never saw it again.
It's probably snorting coke off it with an 18-year-old chick.
I lent him the Bernie Brillstein book. What was it called? You're no one in Hollywood unless someone wants you dead. Did you ever read that?
No.
Great, really good.
The title is too long for me.
It's Bernie Brillstein's life story.
Bernie Brillstein, who, by the way, and this is a true story, I'm doing a set at Stand Up New York, a showcase, back in the day when I first moved to New York.
Yeah.
Made him laugh so hard, he fucking tips over in his chair backwards.
Really?
Yeah. Kerry Hoffman comes up in the avenue, he goes, Bernie Brillstein literally fell out of his chair, leaning back, laughing at you. He fell down. I go, you think he might want to sign me at that point? I made a huge showbiz name, industry guy who's been in the business forever, manages everybody, fall out of his chair.
Nothing. Fucking showbiz.
Surprised he didn't sue me.
Showbiz sucks.
I know. What are you going to do? I meet him after. He goes, well, if I shit my pants and I bled from my nose, I might have signed you. But for the love of Pete. Yeah. So, speaking of it, you really do have ADD.
No, I'm looking at the list for the podcast today.
What list?
I have stuff I wanted to ask you about.
I got a whole thing.
I know you got a lot too, so I want to cover yours.
I
first.
thought we were doing my show, and then we were just going to put it out there.
We are, but these are things that I wanted to talk about your shit.
No, you can't, Joe. You're going to bore the shit out of people. Stick with it. What are we going to do, 2 hours? We're already at 40 minutes.
No, there's only 2 things on here. I don't have like a long list.
I got to let Rob Sprance know that I paused it and broke the show into 2 segments. I hope the fuck. Yeah, but I did a lot of shit. This is the first week I've had anything to talk about on my show. We'll talk about it. We'll do it 2 hours. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, you got to pick up your kid anyways.
Not till 4.
So yeah, I went to L.A.
Yeah, I want to hear about this.
And that's no biggie. I just went out there to do a bunch of podcasts because the last time I did it to promote Another Senseless Killing, my album, by the way, which was like it was up into the 70s on iTunes into the charts.
Yeah.
After I came back from L.A., that's why I went out there to give it a kickstart.
You're like out of breath from doing nothing right now.
What do you mean?
I don't know. You sound out of breath.
I'm not out of breath. I smoked a couple cigarettes before the show.
Did you?
Yeah, which is stupid because I'm going to work out later. I got to be doing my. You got to stay focused. You got to stay 30-minute insanity. You got to stay with it. You got to stay focused. Sean T.
I know.
My big black gay friend who's in scary shape, by the way. You got to stay within yourself. You got to stay focused. This isn't about me. This is about you. I can do this. You got to stay with it. So, yeah, I went out to L.A. and did Adam Carolla's show.
Uh-huh.
The heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Rogan.
Have you done Corollas before?
Yes, I have. And then I did Rogan and Fitzsimmons. I did a Fitzsimmons podcast. Right after we finished the hour podcast, he has a Sirius radio show that goes live.
Oh, he does?
So I got 2 for the price of 1 out there.
Right from his house, he does Sirius.
No, not from his house. From a building, a studio.
Oh, okay.
But the last time I did his, you're right, it was at his house in his garage when I did his podcast.
Yeah.
But this was on Wilshire in a nice, serious, studio. And I did Dom Herrera.
Oh, at the Comedy Store?
At the
Laugh Factory. Yeah.
And he,
must be
but for some
That's
reason,
a video one too, right?
it's not going to come out for a couple weeks. I go, what are you fucking doing, Star Wars? You got to put special effects in? It should come out the next day. And it was so fun because he had so many good stories and I had so many good... It was great. He was on Xanax. It was like talking to you before you got on medication.
He's on Xanax now?
Well, he was that day. I go, what did you just wake up? He had me laughing. He is a character, man. He is a funny... Yeah, so I got to do all those, and like I said, plug the thing, and then, Rogan keeps you on for 3 hours, which is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
He's got this, like a strip mall. He's got a suite, and love doing Rogan.
He didn't do Marin?
Marin I was supposed to do, but he had to do something in Hawaii.
Fucker.
No, but he's coming in New York, and I'm going to do it this week.
Really?
At the end of the week. I believe so, yeah. His producer texted me today. Glad you brought that up.
Oh.
And
that's another number you won't give me.
What am I, your fucking agent? Do some work yourself, motherfucker.
I had a contact with his old person that booked it, but it's not the same person anymore, I don't think.
Do you know Mara?
Yeah, I was supposed to do a show. I was supposed to go out in L.A. I had it all set up.
Well, you couldn't go because you were battling callers on Sports 101 in Philly to try to get that coveted sports.
Yeah.
That's a great story.
I was supposed to do it when I used to go out and do Chelsea lately a lot.
That's right. You were big out there in Chelsea.
But then I think it got moved and never happened.
And while I was out there, I did the Ventura Harbor Comedy Club.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
It was fucking great. A great little room. Jeez. It was great.
You had a great week.
It was fun. I rented a car. I used that Waze app that I tell you about, right, to get around L.A. Thing worked like... But here's my luck. First of all, I got off the plane, right? Yeah, after 5.5 hours, I go to L.A., go to, Hertz, rent the car at LAX. It's a fucking nightmare. There's 35 people in front of me. I'm not exaggerating. There's 6 people working. They have the windows numbered. There's 60-something windows or 70-something. There's 6 people working. And every time somebody would service somebody, they'd leave. The guy doing the servicing would fucking walk behind and go somewhere and disappear. At one point, there was one guy left. And there's still 30 of us in line. People just fucking fuming.
You're doing a lot better financially. I never use Hertz. Those are always the ones that cost more. I'm always renting a car from like Midway Air.
I do that too. Yeah, I do that. I don't know why I went with Hertz, but I don't.
Never do that.
Never. No, it was unbelievable. There was accents I had never heard of. I was talking about it on Rogan.
It was just rent a Corvette for the week.
I rented a donkey. They brought me out a nice donkey with and a bag of carrots. You're on your way.
Where'd you put yourself up? Did you go high end?
The Hilton in Woodland Hills, which was kind of central to all the things I was doing.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize. I go, how far am I from Rogan's? I checked on my GPS on my phone.
Uh-huh.
It says 0.8 miles. I walked to Rogan's podcast.
Oh, nice.
That was great. And Corolla was great. Pulls in a Jaguar or something. He's always got these awesome muscle cars and shit.
So most of the podcasts are in the valley then?
Those were, yeah. Fitzsimmons was on Wilshire. He's, but yeah, I think Marin's in the valley too. But I didn't do that one. But yeah, it was really, and the Ventura Harbor Comedy Club was fun.
I did that once 100 years ago. Was it called like Top? It used to be called something else, I think.
Oh, I don't know. No, this one, he says he's been there 7 years.
Oh, there used to be a different one in Ventura. It was called Toppers.
This one's right on the water.
Yeah, this one was too. It was in like a harbor.
Was it in like a kind of a strip mall thing upstairs? Do you remember?
I think so.
It was a blast.
Yeah,
people were great.
Yeah.
Fucking, I did like an hour and 6 minutes.
All those towns that aren't L.A. are so much better than L.A. Those hour-away ones.
Yeah.
2 hours away.
I agree. They're fun.
Santa Barbara, you ever go there? It's like fucking heaven.
I went there every weekend when I lived in L.A., me and my wife.
It's incredible.
I got tired of the Comedy Store. I'd have like a 10 p.m. Mitzi loved me.
Uh-huh.
Mitzi sure loved me. I wouldn't even go. After like maybe being out there for a year, I just...
You blow it off?
I'd blow it off. And then I'd come home, there'd be a message on the machine. It's her, and I'm going, no, this is it. She's going to go, you finish. She's going, I'm giving you an 11:40 this week. You didn't show up last...
Wow.
I had fucking carte blanche, man.
Wow.
I don't know why. But, yeah, Santa Barbara, man, that's all we did, me and the wife. Took off to Santa Barbara. Ate seafood and got drunk. every other weekend.
Do you ever think now when you go out there for like the podcast week? You probably don't. You don't ever go, man, maybe I should live out here.
No.
Never hit you. This is where I
it's
need
a shitty
to be.
comedy scene. What am I going to fly out of there to do fucking Uncle Vinny's?
For the acting work?
The acting work, yeah.
Do you have any interest in, like...
I really don't.
You don't have that acting bug.
I really don't. You know why? Because I don't do it enough, and I respect the craft more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got some lady text me about some show called The Unforgettables. It used to be on CBS. Unforgettable, it's called. It was on CBS. Apparently, it is forgettable because everybody... now it's on A&E or whatever.
Yeah.
But with like a lead role or whatever, and I gave her my avails, but then I'm like, I don't do enough acting, What if I get the script and it's 2 solid pages of dialogue? Seriously.
Well, how much dialogue was in that Amy Schumer scene?
Well, those are like funny lines, though, Yeah,
Still
no, that last scene is demanding as anything I'll probably do. No, it's a good point. But I don't. You asked me if I had the bug, and I don't.
But you don't get done doing something like that and go, oh, that was so fun. I wish I did this more.
No, because you don't do it more. That's the point. Everything's a one-off. It's not like they're going to offer me like a regular series character. If they came with that and said, we saw you in Amy Schumer, and we're going to offer you, we want you to be a regular on the show, and there's money involved.
Well, you always talk to they came to you and said, like, I'm always thinking in my head if I was there and pursuing it, it would happen. I don't think...
Maybe, but no. I'm a comedian.
Right.
Make them come to you. That was my plan, which didn't work, apparently.
No, it's not
but
working.
Like Kinnison, people came to him, put him in movies.
Well, I get confused. I don't know. Am I a comedian or am I an actor? I really don't know. I might be... I'm better at the fucking acting.
I think you're an author.
Author. Or am I an author? You stink today.
Yeah, I know.
Excuse me.
Just ignore when I'm doing that. You don't have to let the audience...
I know. You get so mad when I do.
Well, I know. You're like a rookie. It's fucking hot in here, ain't it?
No, it feels good.
Let's inject a little humor. Hold on.
When a man falls out of your boat and into the water, you should yell, "Man overboard." Now, what should you yell if a woman falls overboard?
Full speed ahead.
Now, there's a funny vag. Speaking of hags, did you see Caitlyn last night?
No. Where was Caitlyn?
I guess it was the premiere of her show. Bruce Jenner / Caitlyn.
I saw it. I think I probably saw some of it on.
You saw
iTunes
the trailers or something?
The trailer, yeah.
I watched like 3 minutes because my wife was watching, and I can't.
I'm not interested.
I'm just. I don't know what to think. Because now to me he's like a guy in drag.
Yeah,
he's like this big guy. He's playing tennis. He's got these skinny like.
Oh, he has skinny legs.
Yeah,
his neck's huge.
Yeah, he's still got a man's neck and voice. So it's like a guy in fucking drag.
Yeah,
I don't know what to think. I'm more confused than he is. But he's doing good. He's helping kids, transgender kids who they commit suicide. And I mean, and that I can appreciate all that shit.
Yeah.
But again, like my wife didn't know Bruce Jenner as an athlete and stuff. My wife she's like 8 years younger than me.
Right.
Only, knows the Kardashian and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and I'm looking at him and I'm still freaking out. Like I'm like his mother. She doesn't know. His mother doesn't know still wants to call him Bruce and shit. So do I.
Well, his mom seems really, she loves it. Almost. She thinks it's great when I've seen her interviewed.
Yeah. Well, it would be funny if she came out. He's a fucking asshole. I'm going to disown him.
That would be great.
I'm throwing his shit on the lawn.
That would be my grandma.
I tore up his baby shoes. No, you have to. You got to. That's what I'm saying. You got to love. You know what I mean? You can't. I don't have a problem with any of that because it doesn't affect me. But I'm just saying, watching him play tennis and he still talks like that. I hope he's going to get like hormone treatment for his voice and
dude, I feel the same.
Eventually get a snatch snapped on. No?
Even his speech at the ESPYs, I felt exactly like what you're saying. It's just weird. You're like, it like throws you for a curveball. You're like, whoa, wait a second.
Right.
He looks like a pretty woman. There's this man's voice, man's attitude. It's very confusing. Your brain's going all different ways.
I don't know what to do with it. And he's really like a likable. He has a great personality. Either as Caitlyn or Bruce Jenner. He's a likable guy. You know?
He
Smart
is.
guy.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, man, it was like watching him play tennis and shit. And then he's looking at dresses, with Kim Kardashian. She's like, no, Mom's going to wear that. And they both start giggling. I'm going, what the fuck? That's when I went up and got a scotch. I said, I can't take this. So what else you want to talk about, Joey? You got a list there.
You're done your list?
No, but go ahead. I don't want to do a 3-hour show. Your kid will be standing at the bus stop with some guy in a trench coat behind him.
This is a little inside baseball with comedy, but I'm trying to do a theater show in my hometown.
Yeah.
And it's, I'll be honest, it's a little new to me doing theaters and knowing how much of a door deal you should make. And it was so funny. I got the weirdest.
Don't you have an agent?
No.
For personal appearances?
No, I don't. It's impossible to get one of those, by the way.
Why is that?
You're lucky that you have
You were on I'm fucking lucky. I put in 28 years.
It's very hard to get.
Now it is?
Yeah.
You were on America's Got...
Nobody gives a shit.
Minimal Talent?
Nobody gives a shit. I have a guy doing it for
lie
me now.
Lie about it. Make up a resume.
I did. I'm actually...
Fucking lie.
I have a guy doing it now for me.
Say you wrote jokes for Ed Sullivan in the 50s.
I have a guy who's booking me.
Who's that? Kevin Brennan?
James Kantorowitz.
Oh, James Kantorowitz. He's very good.
JK Entertainment.
Oh, JK Entertainment. They handled Nipsey Russell, who died, and...
So what? This is what's funny about the first shot at the door deal.
But why do you want to do a theater in your hometown? What would that prove?
That's
even
where I
if
can
you sold
draw.
it out. Okay. But then what does that prove?
I make some money.
It's like a salesman. When he becomes a salesman, a door-to-door salesman, they go to their family and they sell them a box of...
Well, do you want to go to the comedy club that's in your hometown and make $2,000 for a week, or do you want to go to the theater?
I'll buy that.
All these comedians now, that's the way they're going. They rent theaters if they have little, small followings from their podcasts. A friend of mine, that's what he does. He has a pretty big podcast.
And who would that be?
Kyle Dunnigan. Do you know Kyle?
I know Dunnigan.
You know Kyle.
Yeah.
Dunnigan now, because of the podcast he used to do with Tig Notaro. I think she just left the podcast, but they have pretty good numbers, and good enough numbers that he goes to towns with 300-seat theaters, rents them, and then takes the door and makes more money than he would if he went to the comedy club.
Okay. It sounds like a lot of fucking unnecessary work, but okay.
It's not that much work.
All right.
He probably has the agent do it for him.
Yeah. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
You can't be doing that. Have your wife do it. She's not busy enough.
I got a guy.
Oh, that's right. Tig Notaro's father.
I got.
Was it?
But what is a good percentage?
I don't know.
Do you have any idea?
What do I look Jewish to you?
You have no idea.
A good percentage. It all depends on how famous you are, how much it costs the theater to put on the show.
I'm not paying a rental. I'm getting the theater for free.
You're getting the theater for free.
I don't have to pay to rent it.
How are you gonna publicize all this?
Didn't you? I'm sure you did a door deal when you were at Ridgefield. You're not a flat fee guy. You don't come in at a number,
on that one.
You did a number?
A guarantee versus the door.
Oh, it's a verse.
Yeah.
And then if you hit that, you go, all right.
Yeah.
And then bonuses in there if you sell out?
No.
Okay.
No. But yeah, you can do it anyway. There's no, Again, that's why I have an agent. You're asking the wrong guy.
I know. All right. That was a bad one to ask him.
Call this
Everybody, that was a bad one to ask Nick DiPaolo right there.
No, I might have known. I understand why you thought maybe I know, but that's what agents are for.
This will make you laugh because this is something you went through.
Okay.
The guy who's editing my special.
Yeah.
It's been taking kind of long.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I texted him today. I'm like, are we close to being done? He goes, dude, I have Lyme disease. And I know you had Lyme disease. He sounded like he was
I didn't have
die.
Lyme disease. I got bit by a tick.
You didn't have Lyme disease?
No.
Oh, I thought you
I
got
got
Lyme
bit
disease.
by a tick and detected it in time, or I would have had Lyme disease.
Oh, so you
they
can
put
actually...
you on antibiotics.
And you can... Oh, so he must have taken too long and
Yes.
he has Lyme disease.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's even worse.
That's funny you say that because I was watching Curb Your Enthusiasm last night.
Yeah.
And that was one of the plots. Susie Essman had Lyme disease. She said, I feel tired and achy and shit. And Larry goes, maybe you have Lyme disease, and actually saves her life, and he doesn't thank her. She doesn't thank him later.
And he gets pissed.
And he's like, what the hell? No fucking thank you. But, So he's got Lyme disease?
Yeah.
Where does he live? Up here?
He lives in Westchester. He lives in like Dobbs Ferry or something.
He's probably playing in the grass with his kids and shit.
He thinks he got it in Montauk, Long Island, like a month ago when he was there.
That's what they said on Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Really?
Yeah.
That's where it started, you know. That's the first...
Oh, is that right?
First
I didn't know
Lyme
that.
disease happened there, and that for some reason they call it Lyme disease. I didn't know it was named after the town Lyme. I didn't know that.
Oh, I thought it was... You know, a citrus thing. I rubbed
thought
lemon.
it was Pope of Greenwich Village.
I was rubbing lemon on...
I got the fucking Lyme, Charlie.
That was good. Give us more.
I love Eric Roberts in that
Do
movie.
it again. I thought he was overacting horribly.
He was, but something about it was
My
entertaining.
thumbs, Jaluch! They took my thumbs!
Charlie, man. Chimes, Charlie. Fucking chimes. I gotta take a fucking leak. Remember that? They robbed the safe. They're driving down the FDR in a fucking van. He goes, I gotta take a fucking leak. We just fucking robbed a fucking safe. You gotta take a leak. I gotta fucking take a leak, Charlie. You're making fun of me. You're on the fucking FDR driving with fucking whatever. What plates? You can't drive on the FDR with a truck, right?
That's correct.
I bored you?
No,
I
it was
love
good.
Pope of Greenwich Village.
Huh? I haven't seen it forever.
I think you played some clip from it on your
Never.
podcast.
No.
The music from the Pope.
I did. I played something.
Cut your
from
thumbs, you did. I remember hearing.
That's right. Holy shit.
I'm a listener.
You don't have ADD. You're pretty sharp, actually.
I'm on the meds.
What else?
I'm annoying you on the meds. You're gonna laugh at this. This is because I need to make side money. I'm putting this out there to listeners. I'm doing one-on-one stand-up classes via Skype.
It was nice having you on my show, Joe.
$75 an hour. Hit me up, Mattery67 at gmail.com if you're interested.
Oh, my God. What the
Wouldn't that be a great... I would love it. Nick DiPaolo Comedy School.
Who are you and Carrie Louise going to hook up? Nick DiPaolo Comedy School?
Yeah, you're just fucking ripping on people.
What do you got in your hand? Is that a suitcase full of props? Get out of my driveway, cocksucker. Hey, you got to do what you got to do. I'd rather sell drugs than teach comedy. I think there's more integrity in selling weed.
I also hung at the Cellar Friday night at like 3 a.m. I hadn't done that in 100
Why?
years.
Where was the wife?
Hang
Out of
after the
town?
spot. No, she was home. I got home at like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
The next day, she was like, "What the fuck were you doing?" I go, "I don't know. I thought I needed to hang. I was hanging with Dave Attell and fucking Natterman and Russ Maneve, and there was a little sadness to it.
Why sadness?
It's like 3:30 in the morning, and these guys like they're immature to the point where it's kind of funny. Like Russ.
What do you mean immature?
Russ is hitting on women getting into cabs. Can I go with you? He just yelled, "Where are you going?" Like
that kind of makes me like him.
Yeah, he's trying to be an asshole.
Oh my God!
And Dave Attell is so fucking quick-witted.
He's a night creature too.
It's ridiculous.
Well, it's like noontime for him.
Yeah.
For Attell.
But the speed of the shit he's saying, that's where I think maybe I'm an actor, not a comedian. Because when you're able to hang at the Cellar table, I sit
dominate that fucking table.
You're
dominate
great
it.
I can't.
Invented the table.
I can't. I hear how boring I am when I'm there.
No, it's your meds though. Your meds are meant to slow you down, right?
I don't know. No, I never was fast.
He's defaulting to the dumb guinea.
I think I was better with comedians when I wasn't on the meds because there was a chance I might want to punch someone in the face if they slammed me
when
too
you
hard.
weren't on meds.
Yeah, and I think that's more interesting to comedians.
You really have low self-esteem.
I do.
You really do.
Yeah. Well, I can't. Like I remember they were shitting on my hair one time at the table at the Cellar. How dry my hair was.
Condition is very expensive today.
Rich Voss, Robert Kelly, Keith Robinson were just fucking going, and they were destroying me, and they wouldn't stop for like 45 minutes. And it hit this part of the conversation where I was like, enough already. Like now I want to knock somebody out.
Oh, Jesus.
And I turned to somebody and I turned to somebody at the bar at the Cellar and I go, yeah, now we know why Tough Crowd got canceled. And I whispered it though. And the person at the bar goes, "That was funny. You should have said that." And I go, "I don't have enough balls to say mean out loud."
Was Colin at the table?
No.
He would have smacked you.
He would have killed me if I said that. Because they were all being...
Back in the day, he would have, according to this book...
He would have killed me?
Oh, if he had booze in him, he would have fucking taken your head off. Fucking crazy, Quinn.
I have a friend that calls something that Colin Quinn used to do when Tough Crowd was on. He used to call it bojangling.
Who called it bojangling?
I'm not going to say who. I'll tell you off.
Oh, but he was talking about Colin?
Colin, when Tough Crowd was on, he said he used to bojangle up and down the steps at the cellar, waiting for people to fucking ask if they could get on the show, and he would just fucking like pretend he didn't see him and walk away. Because that was back when comedians would walk right up, "Hey, how about getting me on your show?"
That's not Colin. That guy was reading him wrong.
Yeah,
that's not Quinn. He isn't. Quinn doesn't have a pretentious bone in his body. That's why you love him, you know? I don't think that.
Yeah.
You know? But what else, Joe? Get it off your chest.
I'm also, jeez, I don't want to tell you all these sad things about me.
What? What now? Don't tell me you get cancer of the ass and eyes again. I thought we cured that with a secrets.
I got nothing else, dude.
All right.
I'm going to start painting on the side.
Painting what? Houses?
Yeah, I'm going to start painting.
Houses?
Yeah.
Seriously?
I'm very good at it. You need any rooms painted?
Can I ask you a question? What are you going to put in? What are you going to put in 38-hour days? You teaching comedy? You're going to be painting the building you're teaching comedy in?
I only have 2 students lined up for that. That's 2 hours a week.
You have 2 students lined up.
And I have a friend who's a painter who's very excellent, and he said he could use me here and there. I can't take a full-time job on. I went on Craig.
You're taking on like 9 fucking part-time jobs.
No, I'm not going to be able to do all of those. I'm going to see which one works, and then I'll stick with it.
Dangerous situation.
I went on Craigslist looking at jobs. I never felt so depressed in my life. I was like, I can't get any of these jobs. The only thing I can get is the $12 an hour laborer. That's it.
Why? What were the other jobs? You've driven an ice cream truck, haven't you?
I used to be a waiter when I was younger. I couldn't even get that.
A waiter?
Because my experience is from 25 years ago.
What you have is
what could I do?
Comedian syndrome, because I feel the same way. I remember Artie used to say it all the time when we were working together. Dude, this is all I know how to do. Fucking bust balls and make people laugh.
But at least he's making $1.8 million a year or whatever he's making.
Oh, is he really?
I don't know, whatever he's making. I'm fucking scared I can barely make my bills every month.
Well, you need an agent.
Yeah, I have a manager. I tell them that. Get me a fucking... They can't get you an agent. How can this douchebag... You look at who has one, and you're like, why do I not? It makes no sense.
It's changed. The landscape has changed, huh? Out there.
How long have you had the same agent?
I've been with Frosty probably 6 years.
And then who was before that?
I always had an agent.
You always had one?
I've never made a phone call on my own behalf, ever. Even from... When I was an open micer, Barry Katz signed me after like 6 months, right? So I was doing open mics, and he signed me. And Barry had all the rooms in New England.
6 months in, you never
6 to 8 months. I never
had to make a call.
Once. And I wouldn't know how to.
Really?
And I went to school for marketing. I can't sell myself. But
see, back in the day, I was really good at it.
What the fuck? You've done Letterman a couple times. You have a resume. I can't believe there's another young agent out there that wouldn't.
Maybe he's listening.
Wouldn't want to get 10% of $600 a year.
No, I tried. That seemed like that. This one agency manages a lot of comedians at my level.
Ford models. Here's a funny guy for you.
Guy comes home with a bouquet of flowers for his wife. I guess I'll have to spread my legs now, she says. Why, he asks. Don't you have a vase?
I like the laugh that guy has afterwards. Who is that?
He tells that joke in a mental institution.
Oh.
And it's a cuckoo guy laughing. And there's another guy in a wheelchair crying because he's upset about the joke.
Play it again. It sounds like Barney Rubble, the guy laughing in the back.
Now, I'll start by making a mountain fold on each corner. Folding the corners into the center of
Listen, Uncle Junior.
Touché, Captain Blood.
He's going to snap on the nurse.
Checkers, the thinking man's game.
Oh, this is when he beats up
the fucking mouth.
Corrado. Language, please. Everybody have this? Okay.
What do you want?
If you'd move, perhaps I could reach the chess set.
And if I don't, what the fuck you going to do then?
You don't intimidate me.
Corrado. So, we take the mountain.
You're lucky she's here, you little prick.
Naturally. You're only tough when there's an authority figure nearby so things don't go too far. Oh, how the mighty have fallen.
Beats the fuck
Does
out
he?
of the guy. Oh, yeah. It's the funniest show in the history of television.
I never saw that one.
Perhaps you could move so I could get the reach the chest. What are you going to fucking do if I don't? Like he's 22 years
This
old.
old man beats the shit out of you.
Oh, the good old days of New York. Speaking of that, I watched a great documentary this weekend. I read about it months ago in the Post.
Which one?
It's called The 7-5, about those crooked cops in the 75th Precinct.
No.
Back in the 70s and 80s when crack epidemic was going.
Is that on TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, what channel?
Huh?
It's on like
Netflix or Amazon or whatever.
Oh, I thought I saw
I paid for it, actually.
Oh, okay.
But I remember reading about it months ago, or maybe even longer than months ago, and then Joe List reminded me because he had just seen it. I'll play here's a trailer of it, just to give you an idea what it's about.
New York is in the grips of a crime wave.
It was like the heyday of crack.
It was violent, man.
Homicides, robberies,
like it is now.
rapes. It was a war zone.
East New York, Brooklyn, 75
Comedians
precinct,
taking on painting jobs.
Who did I burn to get put here? It would scare Clint Eastwood.
When I first went to the precinct, I hear about this guy, Mike Dowd.
Mikey's just crazy.
Michael Dowd was a crook who ended up wearing a cop's uniform.
He was a criminal.
Once in a generation, corrupt cop.
I consider myself both a cop and a gangster.
Forget about Beverly Hills and all that other stuff. The ghetto is one of the richest neighborhoods there is.
Maybe there's some way we can make money from this.
La Compañía. It's a very serious Dominican gang.
$24,000 in our hands to talk.
Mike was of rain. Say no problem.
In his business, if you mess up, you got killed.
I'm a New York City cop. I'm taking a risk of going to jail for a long period of time. And you're going to short me a dime?
His word against mine. And I'm a cop. I'd break your neck if your neck needs breaking.
I had 3 machines counting money, and it's still not enough time.
Everybody on the floor now!
There's no becoming a cop again.
You're going to have me killed.
We knew we were up against a really tough crew.
A month ago, I was a regular cop, and now I'm a criminal.
That's what they taught us in the police academy. Got a guy in the front, a guy in the back, got an entry team.
You felt like you were God.
The normal person that's doing wrong is going to have a fear of being caught.
I never had a fear about getting busted.
Michael Dowd did not have any fear.
Because the cops around me would never give me up.
You got to watch it. It's unbelievable.
So say the name of it again.
The 7-5.
The 7-5.
Yeah, East New York, back in like late 70s, 80s, and this Michael Dowd, he goes into the academy, becomes a cop, and he's he's like, they tell you in the academy if you go by the book and everything, you'll fucking, you'll end up dying. Just do what you got to do to survive out there, and he just took it to a whole new level. Fucking started working with the Dominican drug. You got to watch. It is fucking real life is always better. It's all I watch now is documentaries.
Oh, me too.
They're so much better than the garbage. You don't want to see Ant-Man?
No.
I mean, just fascinating how some people see life. And this guy with Michael Dowd was just crazy. And he had a guy he talked into working with him, another cop. It is friggin' fascinating.
Well, I'll check it out.
Yeah, you'll fucking love it, dude.
I saw the Amy Winehouse documentary.
Oh, how was it? We talked about it. I was on Opie and Jimmy.
It was really good.
The director was in there, and the guy her old manager was in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Was it good?
Sad shit, but yeah. Really good and well done. And I didn't know she was bulimic, which...
Oh, she was?
I didn't even realize that, and it's pretty obvious when you're watching the documentary. She weighed like fucking nothing towards the end.
Well, drugs might do that.
Yeah.
So she was bulimic on top of being a drug
addict. On top of it. Her dad was kind of a fucking idiot. He's in a lot of the movie. They go away on some trip to like St. Croix or something, and she's looking forward to just getting away, and her fucking dad has a camera crew there, like filming some reality show. and doesn't even tell her about it and just shows up.
Oh, that's right. They were talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what an asshole.
Kind of exploitive, no?
Yeah, she was an amazing talent, though.
Why do you call her manager?
You need any clients? I don't shoot heroin. I'm good.
He calls you back. I got a gig for you in Detroit. I can get you $5,500 for 6 shows. You're like, I got to paint a garage on fucking Friday. I can't go.
I can't do it. God, it's so pathetic. My brother just gave me so much shit. One of the jobs I did think I can do, it sounded interesting to me, learning how to install all these high-end like audio systems in houses and video systems and all this high-end shit. Like, it was like learning how to do that. And they said, if we really like you, we'll train you how to do it. And because we need somebody who can work with people and work with the customers, and you'll have a crew. And my brother goes, yeah, and you'll make $12 an hour. He goes, you're going to really go fucking do that? I was like, I don't know. I'm at the point in my life, I'm like, I don't know. It'd be kind of fun to learn something completely different.
This dirty cop worked with guys who installed sound systems in cars.
Really?
Yeah, there was a Dominican guy. It was the front for his drug business, installing audio sound systems.
Yeah, that used to be big when I was younger.
That's right. And
you don't hear that anymore.
And that's how they knew who the drug dealer is, because they would see cars with like fucking literally 60 speakers in the back. It's you got to watch it, man. You're gonna fucking die. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Joe. I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm
You're like, I'm doing well. I don't know what.
No, I'm treading water.
Yeah.
But you got to get an. There's no reason you shouldn't have an agent. You're a good comic, man.
I know.
You know.
Well,
you got to look for a young, hungry kid out there.
That's who I have. My guy.
What's his name again?
James Cantorwitz.
He's your manager.
No, he's my agent.
You do have an agent.
Yeah.
But he's not a personal appearance agent?
That's all he's doing. And he has no one else.
Oh, I thought you said you don't have a PA guy.
I made him my PA guy.
Oh, I see. How's he doing for you?
He hasn't got a gig yet, but he has a lot of leads. That's how hard it is, man. He had to put
Who
a
else
feeler
does he
out to
handle?
like 200 people.
Nipsey Russell.
Nah, he's got some gigs lined up. Looks like Gotham's going to book me, the Borgata.
I haven't done the Borgata in a while.
I haven't done the Borgata in
and I
maybe
did pretty
18
good
years.
numbers when I did it.
18
Actually, me
years.
and Florentine did it.
Did you?
Yeah, together. Robin Quivers was there in the audience.
Just one night?
Yeah.
Oh, see.
It was nice. It was a nice score.
See?
It's a nice situation.
I just did the Mohegan Sun in fucking the Poconos. That was an odd one.
There's a Mohegan Sun in the Poconos?
I didn't even know it was out there.
What are you talking about?
It's been there for like 2 years.
Who found you that one?
There's a comedy club in it. It doesn't pay well. But you're in the Mohegan Sun.
I didn't know there was a Mohegan Sun in the Poconos.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Major situation.
What a fucking bunch of losers.
Say it like Tone.
What a fucking bunch of losers. I'm in the fucking buffet. I felt like a fucking male model. I'm fucking 270. These people are fucking 500, fucking 600. Fucking line it up for the fucking mac and cheese. I'm like, hey, why don't you go to the fucking vegetable section?
What the fuck? I get there, all the roast pork is gone, though. I paid $2 to get in here, T.
Excuse me.
I love that. That is so great. They gave us free tickets to go into the buffet. It was,
oh, God.
I only went.
You're breaking my heart. I got to help you somehow.
At least it wasn't the employee.
I'm going to get you some work.
Okay.
My brother needs a house that needs to be painted.
Does he? I'll do it.
And some wiring.
I'm
You know how to do
unbelievable.
cable?
I don't do wiring. I'm really good at cutting the fucking trim.
It's tough out there. I know. It is. Shit's drying up out there. I don't know where it's headed. Podcast out of the fucking basement.
We got to get the radio gig.
Wrap my wife in tinfoil and put her on the fucking roof.
Yeah, my brother gave me shit because he used to do construction, and I sent him the ad of the $12 an hour installing sound systems.
Oh.
And he goes, dude, you're a 25-year comedic veteran. You've been on a million TV shows. Just fucking go get gigs. Or he goes, just figure out how to be a draw. That is, all of us are trying to do that.
Figure out how to be a draw. And tell a lot of hacky jokes for 20 years. You'll pack the joint. Don't have any comedic integrity.
How the fuck do you just figure out how to be a draw?
I don't know. Give Aziz Ansari a call. He's playing like, fucking Detroit Stadium tonight.
He probably is, motherfucker.
So, got anything you want to plug before we wrap it up?
Well, I am serious about the comedy things. If they want to do the one-on-one, $75 an hour, I think that's my move. Mattery67@gmail.com. Email me. And also, seriously, come out this weekend to New Haven, Connecticut. I'm doing the straight door deal at Joker's Wild. The 31st is July 31st and August 1st. Just go to joematteries.com and you can buy the tickets right there.
And I'll be at the Music Fest in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, August 21st. And then Laugh Boston, September 17th through the 19th. And then Governors in Long Island, the September 25th through the 26th. The Gramercy Theater, New York City, October 17th. Go to nickdip.com and get Another Senseless Killing. It's in and out of the charts, man. So it's still doing well. And if you use the radio code Nick or Radio, you'll get $3 off. And I guess that's about it, Joey.
Oh yeah, I got one more plug.
Go
Since
ahead.
we're doing a combo podcast, I got to act, or unless I edit something on giving my plugs. But I always have a donation to the podcast. If you felt really bad for me today,
do I get to split the donation on this one?
Nope, fuck you.
Oh, you dirty
You're
bastard!
doing well.
Doing well. What are you kidding me? My wife's rolling her on tampons. We're so broke.
I give them free merch. Do you have any merch that we could give
I
them?
have no merch. I used to sell Nick DiPaolo helmets.
I give downloads to my podcast. You have downloads probably.
Yeah.
To some of your old albums. I mean, not my podcast. Downloads to my 2 CDs.
This new med's
it's not working.
It's not.
I need to triple the fucking milligrams. I'm on the lowest dose.
Help the guy out. Make a donation to Joe.
Yeah, joematteries.com. You make a $20 donation. You get 2 CDs and a pair of earbuds from Tweaked Audio.
Or you
one
can
of my
put 50
sponsors.
cents in a cup. It'll be on the corner of 48th and Broadway tonight, 11:30 with David Tell.
I got to stop sounding so pathetic.
I guess that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Good to talk to you again, and thanks again for the Ventura Comedy Club, Ventura Harbor Comedy Club, the people that came out there in Ridgefield, Connecticut. You are the balls. And thank you, Joe Rogan, Adam Carolla, and Greg Fitzsimmons, and Don Marrera for having me on the show. And go see Colin Quinn's play. What's it called? New York Story.
I think so.
The Cherry Lane Theater. Is that what it's called? My New York?
Something New York.
Oh, God. We had it earlier.
I think it's called New York Story. Look it up.
Okay, New York Story. I think that's right. All right, kids. That's about it. Talk to you soon.
See you.